So in this video, I'm going to continue what I was doing in the last video, which if you didn't see, I made teams, Pokemon teams, for different Mario characters, except there's so many Mario characters, and I made so many concepts that I had to break it up into 2 videos, so everything I didn't get down in that video, I'm doing here. And essentially what I did there was I just took a Mario character, and then I assigned them to a type, kind of like how gym leaders work in Pokemon, and I gave them a team of 6 Pokemon that all kind of relate to them as best as I could, but they all also have to share the type that I give them. So because of that, there were some challenges I ran into of trying to make all 6 actually relate to the character, but I did my best. So to start off, I did Birdo, who would have a normal type team with Blissey as the ace, because Blissey is pretty much Birdo. They are both roundish, pink, feminine creatures that have eggs on their fronts, or at least the early forms of Birdo had an egg on the front, like specifically from, I think, Mario 2, where the character was introduced. Other than that, I don't think there's ever been an egg attached to Birdo. Anyway, beyond that, everything else I added to the team is pretty much just other round pink creatures, because I kind of knew I had to make Blissey the ace, but that only allowed me to do normal, because Blissey's just a pure normal type, and there wasn't really any other normal types that actually related to Birdo, so I just picked all the pink things I could find, because Birdo is pink. So, Licky Licky, Audino, Wigglytuff, Miltank, and Porygon Z. Next up is Kamik, who I gave a Psychic-type team where the ace would be Delphox. Delphox and Kamik are kind of similar in the fact that they both have that little mage/wizard/witch thing going on. They have staffs or wands that they can cast magic attacks with, and that was kind of the whole mindset I had going for Kamik, was that I was just looking for psychic types that are kind of like wizards or witches. So that led me to add Hatteran as well, and Mr. Rhyme. It's not a wizard or anything, except it does have that little cane, which can kind of be compared to like a wizard staff, because Kamik obviously has that little wand. Then Galarian Slowking, because it's also kind of like a witch or a wizard, or just a mage, I guess you could say. Then I added Alolan Raichu, which is there to represent the whole thing of witches riding their broomsticks, and I think Kamik does that. If not, he rides his wand around. I don't know exactly what it is, I just know for certain he rides something around, so I compared that to Alolan Raichu. And lastly, Sigilif, which is just there because I'm pretty sure it's in Mario Wii, New Super Mario Bros. Wii specifically. Like, when some of the Koopalings cast spells, there's these goofy little magic symbols all around it, and that just kind of reminded me of Sigilif for some reason, and I guess to also represent just the whole magic and mysterious aspect of Kamik. Then I did King Boo, who would be led by Galarian Slowking, specifically because it has King in its name, but also because both of them, or at least in the Luigi's Mansion 3 design of King Boo, it has like that purple crown, and it's all corrupted by it, just like how Galarian Slowking wears the Shelter as a crown, and it's corrupted by that. Then there's Nidoking, and I should mention this is a poison-type team. So anyway, there's Nidoking, which is also there just because it has King in its name. Then Gengar, because it looks kind of similar to King Boo in a way, especially the Luigi's Mansion 3 one where he's more purple than white. Then Weezing for the same reason, just a round, purplish creature. And then Overquill, also for the same reason. And lastly, Salazzle, which is just there because Salazzle, like the female Salandits, they evolve into Salazzle, and those kind of become like the leaders or the queens of the pack, I guess you could say. So I kind of related that queen aspect to King Boo being a king, so they're both like rulers, and that's why I put that one there. Next up is King Bob-omb, or King Bomb, whatever you want to call him, who would have an electric type team. I gave him both forms of Electrode because they're round bomb creatures like he is. Doesn't really matter which one would be the ace, it's just that they're both there. Then Alolan Golem, because it's kind of like a bomb in the sense that it can do self-destruct and explosion and all that. And then Magnezone, it's obviously not a bomb, but it is like a round metal creature, like King Bob-omb is. Then Heat Rotom. It's the only electric fire type, and to me the electric fire type just sounds like it would be a bomb. Heat Rotom obviously isn't, it's an oven, but I put it there anyway. And lastly, Togedemaru, which I only put there because it's also just a round metallic creature like King Bomb is. Then I did Lakitu, who would have a dragon-type team led by Altaria because they're very similar. They're both cloud creatures. You know, I guess that's really the only similarity, but yeah, it makes sense. Then Hisuian and Gudra, because it's also just a thing that has a little thing it lives inside. It lives inside its shell, while Lakitu lives inside its cloud. Or I don't know if I would really say lives inside for Lakitu. I'm sure he takes a stroll every now and then. Anyway, Druddigon is also there because Lakitu throws those spiny shells, and if you look at Druddigon's head, it's a red spiny thing, and so is Spiny, so that makes sense. And then Tatsugiri, specifically the stretchy form, because the stretchy form is yellow, like Lakitu is, and also it has that sushi rice stuff on it, and that kind of resembles the cloud that Lakitu rides. And then Turtonator, which is also there to resemble the spinies that Lakitu throws, and this does it even better because it's an actual turtle, like Spiny is. And then lastly, Dracozolt, because, you know, it's the upper half of a yellow reptilian creature coming out of something else. Now, it's obviously very different things. Dracozolt is the upper half of a yellow reptilian coming out of another reptile. Meanwhile, Lakitu is the upper half of a yellow reptile coming out of a cloud. That hurt my brain trying to explain that, so I'm just going to move on. Next up, I have Wam King. This is the third character that has King in its name that I'm doing. But yeah, it would have a rock-type team led by Stonjourner, because Stonjourner kind of looks like a Womp. And also Bastiodon, because I was thinking like Mario 64, you have Womp's Fortress. A fortress is like a bastion, so I'll put Bastiodon on the team. Then Garganackle, because it's a really lazy design that is pretty much just Stonjourner 2.0, so I'll put it on the team because Stonjourner's here. Then Colossal, because it's also just a bipedal rock creature like Womp is. And then Golem, for the same reason. And as you can tell, I only put the last two there for very lame reasons, but that was just one of many problems I struggled with, trying to make teams of 6 things of all the same type to relate to one character. Anyway, then I did PD Piranha, who would have a grass-type team led by Carnivine, because, like PD, it's a carnivorous plant that is sentient. Then there's Victory Bell, same reason. Then Abomasnow. It's, I'm pretty sure, the only grass-ice type, and I put it there because in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, PD Piranha is the boss of the Ice World for some reason, even though he's originally from Mario Sunshine, which is like the opposite of ice, but I don't know. Anyway, then there's Cradilly, because, you know, it's kind of like a plant as well, even though I believe what it's actually based on isn't a plant, but yeah. And then Ludicolo is here. Now, unlike Abomasnow, which is there to represent PD's appearance in New Super Mario Bros., this is here to represent his appearance in Super Mario Sunshine, because Ludicolo is one of very few, or if not the only, grass-water type, aside from something from the DLC that I guess I shouldn't spoil. And obviously Sunshine has a lot to do with water, so Ludicolo's here. And lastly, Scovillain, just because it, if you ask me, if you take away the red head, it kind of looks like PD Piranha, or just a carnivorous plant creature. Next up is Blooper, which is the last one I'm going to cover, and I obviously gave him a water-type team, and I tried to just find every single squid/octopus/jellyfish water type I could find. It would be led by Tentacruel, because of the ones I found it looks the most like Blooper. Aside from that, there's also Octillery, Almastar, Jellicent, Toxapex, and Quillfish. And yeah, I know, Quillfish and Toxapex are not any of the 3 animals I listed, but Toxapex kind of looks like one, and Quillfish, I really didn't know what to do, so I just put Quillfish on the team. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got for the Mario characters. I mentioned this in the previous video, but I do have some teams made and ready to go for a video to make for a Minecraft one and a Kirby one, so I will get to those at some time in the future, and then once I'm done with all that, I'll move on to a different series. So anyway, if you like this video, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving comments about possible video ideas or anything, and thanks for watching.